I only teleport out into the hall, and I can hear Hieronymous having a fit inside the room. He is demanding that Pjorgen let him go, reminding him that he was the true Grabiner, and the menace was made to serve him. But it seemed that I had made an ally of Pjorgen after all. That would potentially benefit me later if my life was in mortal danger, but I hoped that my days of life-risking adventures would soon come to an end. I can sense Hieronymous trying to teleport out of the room, but Pjorgen has made a seal to keep him inside, barring him from leaving. Part of me thought that it would be good to give Hieronymous some time to come to terms with things on his own, but he was in a destructive mood right now. He had done unspeakable things while he was in his nightmare. What if he decided that he was again trapped in a nightmare realm and tried to hurt himself while I was away? With a frustrated sigh, I quickly teleport back into the room. I couldn't leave him. Not like this. Thank you, Pjorgen, I tell him smoothly as they both turn to face me. You may release Lord Grabiner from my order and return to your rest. As you will it, Lady Grabiner, Pjorgen replies with a modest bow as he slowly fades away. Hieronymous turns from where he had been pounding at the door to face me. Back already? You were losing it in here, I say quietly. I can't leave you. Not like this. I don't honestly trust you not to do anything brash. Hieronymous spreads his hands at his sides. So that's what this was? A test? It wasn't meant to be, I say quietly. I stare at him, and he stares right back. Tori, tell me what happened, he finally says. I haven't asked because I have been waiting for you to tell me, but I'm starting to be concerned that you won't. This is information that I need to know. When you're better, I say firmly. You're still too volatile right now, Hieronymous. Earn my trust back, and then we can talk. No, Hieronymous says with a shake of his head. He seems about to try to order me before he seems to decide against it. Something happened. Look at you, Tori. I don't think I've seen you smile once since I've been back. I just stare at him. I know I should say something, but honestly, I don't know what to tell him but the truth. You came back here for Tori, I say eventually. I'm not her anymore. I'm not the girl who liked to run around in sports club and go to the arcade on weekends. I'm a Viscountess now. I have duties to other people. I have responsibilities. I have a job. And I hate it. I really fucking do. The past few months, I've just been so overwhelmed and I don't know what it's going to take to get me back to me anymore. You went through so much trying to find your way back to the Tori that you loved, and I don't know how to tell you that she is gone. She's not gone, Hieronymous says as he takes a step closer to me. I just need to work a little harder to bring her back. That's all. It's not that easy, I say as I shake my head. Maybe I could get over what happened in your dream, but you lied to me, Hieronymous. All this time I knew there was something about Violet you weren't telling me, some dark secret you were harboring, and you never told me the truth. Because I didn't want to lose you, Hieronymous replies. And isn't that what's happening here? You can't lose something that doesn't exist, I say, and Hieronymous just stares at me, dumbfounded. This exists, he says firmly. Our relationship exists. Our marriage exists. Our connection to each other exists. I don't know what I have to say or do that will fix things between us, but I am not letting you walk away from this. You fought for our relationship before, and now it's my turn to do whatever it takes to keep us together. I just stare at him. Even if we're not happy? I'm happy, he says quietly. It might not look it, Tori, but this is the happiest I've been in a long time. I can't tell if he's trying to make a joke, but I just shake my head. It's been a long life, I say eventually. Honestly, I'm exhausted. I should get some rest. Hieronymous nods as he walks over to the bed and extends his arm out for me, but I just shake my head as I walk over to my cot and lie face down, not looking at him. Tori, please don't punish me, he starts, but I can't deal with him right now. Why'd you insist on making everything about you? I snap. I am really overwhelmed at the moment, and I just want to be alone right now. I can't be alone because you need me here with you. I just want some space. Will you please just let me have some space? Of course, Hieronymous says gently. Of course, Tori. Take all the time you need. I just lie there. The truth was that I was exhausted, but I wasn't sleepy. I didn't want to go to sleep. I just wanted to feel better. I wasn't sure how I could with everything that was happening. Part of me knew I should be relieved that Hieronymous was back so I could push all of his Viscount duties back to him. But at the same time, Hieronymous was in no shape to work. He needed me to help him feel better, and I hated to say that I didn't want that responsibility. I didn't want to heal him. It wasn't my job to try to save him from whatever demons were tormenting him. He had to go through that on his own, or with the help of an experienced magical psychologist. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. If anything, I was probably just making things worse. At the same time, though, I had to admit that part of this was my fault. I had left Hieronymous stuck in his dream for so long. I should have made more of an effort to try to talk to him. I was so sure that he would be happy spending the rest of his life with Violet, but I had never actually asked him if that was what he wanted. I had made the choice for him, and maybe helping him recover right now was part of my punishment. Suddenly, I feel the back of Hieronymous's fingers brush against mine. I pull away on instinct before I relax, and my fingers brush up against his once more. This time, I don't pull away. Instead, I just lie there as our fingers slowly intertwine around each other. I'm not sure who moves first, but eventually, I feel his palm pressed firmly against mine as I squeeze his hand tightly. I'm so sorry, Tori, Hieronymous whispers quietly. If there is anything I can do to help you feel better, please let me know. I roll over to face him, not letting go of his hand. Tell me something happy. He pauses as he considers this for a moment. You didn't spend Christmas alone, he says at last. I wrinkle up my nose. Of course I didn't spend Christmas alone. I was with you. Your first year, he says quietly. Your freshman year. Before we were married. I hesitate as I try to think back. My parents had gone off to a holiday party together, and I just sat alone in my room, watching movies and eating ice cream until I eventually fell asleep. I'm pretty sure I did. I think I had a teddy bear with me, so I guess if you count that. Hieronymous can't help but grin. You dribbled ice cream all over his fur. I do hope you gave that thing a good bath. I can't help but sit up suddenly, almost rolling off the cot. How did you know that? How could you possibly know that? You went home after the Christmas assembly, Hieronymous explains. I was unnerved by our connection and decided to watch the students leave. I saw you struggling over the snow, walking down the street all by yourself. I just wanted to make sure you made it home okay. I pause. So you waited until Christmas Day to check on me? I was having trouble coming to terms with our connection, he admits. I tried to put you out of my mind. I really did. Understand, Tori, that I had spent the last 10 holidays alone, without speaking to anyone. But I just couldn't focus. That was the first year I felt lonely. I told myself I would just take one quick peek, just to make sure you were okay. But you seemed so alone. He shakes his head. So, as you sat there, eating your ice cream and watching your television, I read beside you. Just like at the Glen, it felt comforting to have you near me. I liked being close to you. I liked being able to make sure you were okay, that you were safe. I don't know when the impulse developed or why I felt it so strongly, but I just wanted you to know that you weren't alone that day. I pause for a moment as I consider this. Honestly, the only thing I can think of is that I'm grateful that he didn't try to scran me while I was taking a shower. Why were you so interested in me? I ask him. I was a student. What made me special? I don't know, he replies. Even after when we went to the Glen, I still did not have any romantic interest in you. I think I was just attracted to your potential. You took your classes very seriously, and I was so impressed with what you accomplished in your first exam. I was even considering offering you private lessons as a freshman, which is highly discouraged. You seem to take your education seriously, and I can assure you that you are one of the few that did. Many students begin to develop their talents as they get older, but you seem to intuitively grasp even more complicated principles very early on. I just shrug. I liked learning blue magic. I liked going to your classes. I liked the way you taught. But you know this. When did you first realize you were having romantic feelings for me? After we got married, I did have dreams, now and again, but I always dismissed them, he admits. Over this summer, as we got closer, I was beginning to have hesitations about ending it, especially when you seemed to glow whenever you saw me. However, I was determined to end the marriage in January, so I would never have to take up my father's seat. However, after you lost your memories, and after the way we kissed in the detention room, I realized that my feelings for you ran much deeper than I wanted to admit to. I can't help but force a smile, and Hieronymous returns it. We just sit there for a few moments, staring at each other, although this one felt more comfortable than the last few had been. I still remember the first time I held you in my arms when we fell asleep together, he recalls. You fell asleep quickly, but I remember just lying there, stroking your hair, holding you close against my chest. Part of me was afraid to fall asleep because I was afraid that you wouldn't be there when I woke up. He shakes his head and rolls onto his back, seemingly talking to himself. I'd give anything to hold you like that again. Without waiting, I scamper off the cot and climb into bed with him, wrapping my arms around his middle as I snuggle my cheek against his chest. Hieronymous wraps his arms around me, tightly, holding me close to him. Is this what you want? I ask him. You're all I want, he tells me as he plants a kiss against my forehead, and I can't help but smile as I relax into him. I didn't know how long it would be until we found our natural rhythm again, but I realized that I did still want to be with him. I did still love him. It wasn't going to be easy to get past this hurdle, but at least in this moment, I felt confident that we would overcome it. Together. It wasn't much, but at least it was something.